Now, Honey was inspired by RuPaul
Absolutely.
herself. Tell that story.
So, after season 2, RuPaul came out with her book, Working It. And I went to a book signing at Borders when there were bookstores.
Right. Another thing that no longer exists. Yes.
And I went to meet her, and I had a group at that time. I wasn't like full force into drag yet. I was dancing back out for pep and different things, and so my group was called the Hunties.
Yes.
And I asked her to sign my book to the Hunties, and I think Mama misheard me. And Hunty wasn't like a big word yet.
Yeah.
So she said, to Honey. Flash forward to my group breaking up, and I'm like, but I really like doing this, and it was a form of my expression. And so then I was like, well, I guess my name will just be Honey, because it was on the book I was like looking at the time, and Ru had kind of given me that name.
Yeah, so, that's great. Now, you had a great drag mother, and you also are a drag mother yourself.
Absolutely.
Of the winner of All Stars 4.
Absolutely.
Miss Monet Exchange and you.
I know. Well, she's so freaking talented that, like, you know, sometimes when you're someone's drag mother, you are very hands-on, and you're a really big part of the creation of their character, and I've been able to do that for a lot of my kids. But Monet was like in the beginning cycles, one of my like first kids. And I didn't actually have a whole lot to do with how sickening she is. Like, she's really incredible, like on her own. And she's always just been super talented. And I had a really, like I said, I had some really successful parties. And she would come to them, and one day her and another queen from New York named Jasmine Rice LaBeija, who is incredible.
Oh yeah, we know her.
She got a mouth on that one. They came into my party, and they had been coming a couple of times, and Monet was just like, I think you should be my drag mother. And I was like, you are incredible. Like, sure. Like, however I could help. And our relationship has always been that, like, whenever I could help. But, like, she don't need my goddamn help no more.
That's right. Now, let's talk about pageants.
Yes.
Because the category is pageants. Now, you have won 18 pageant titles.
Right. That means I'm really good at giving hand jobs to judges.
To the judges. Tell me how you got into pageants.
I first did the Miss Stonewall pageant. It was the first pageant I ever did. Stonewall has always been a place that has embraced creativity. It's weird. Our whole movement began. I really wanted to be a part of that. I really wanted to be like a face of the Stonewall for years. So I was like, I don't care if my drag is not pageant drag. I want to go do Miss Stonewall. And they were like, you can come here and do it. You're going to lose. So I lost that pageant 4 times before I won.
Wow.
Right? But I was like committed. And it really, it gave me a couple things. It gave me a space where I could do these large production numbers like I had in my head. Because, you know, you go to Continental with 20 dancers
yes,
and a
you
team.
do.
And that's always been how I've seen Honey Davenport. Like, the kind of bitch who walks in is like, put my dress on. Dancers, let's go. Okay, fine. You know what I'm saying? And like pageants gave me the opportunity to feel that kind of part of my fantasy.
Now tell me some of the stories of the shady behind the scenes pageant drama.
The shady behind this. I mean, it's always rigged. It's always fixed.
Oh, okay.
I'm good at giving head, so I always win. You know, what? I never was involved in the drama of pageantry. I will tell you this. One of my first pageants was Miss XL in New York. Not XL when it was a small club, but when it became a big nightclub,
oh, yeah.
They had a pageant. And I lost. I came in last place. But I was sitting backstage getting ready, and I was looking around at all of these girls who had like way better garments than me. And, you know, I was looking at everything. And Manila came backstage, and she was like, She said, you sit in that princess chair until you're crowned queen. You don't worry about none of these other bitches in this room. And that was how I lived my whole life in pageantry. I walked in the room like, I already won. I wasn't worried about nobody else's drama. Like the year I won Miss America, like I walked in with like tunnel vision, which just like, boom, just boom, you know. And the year I won New York Continental the same way. Just like every time I would take a win, I would walk in just like, nobody else is here.
Right.
You know.